Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I've got some exciting news that could change the way you think about your state pension. What if I told you there's a way you could be eligible for an extra £916 annually on your state pension? Sounds too good to be true? Well, stay with me because today, we're diving into how you could be eligible for this extra money and why it's worth checking. In recent news, there's a potential opportunity for many UK citizens to increase their state pension by as much as £916 per year. This could be a game changer, especially for those nearing retirement or already in their later years. If you're someone who's approaching state pension age, or even if you're just curious about the idea of enhancing your retirement income, you need to know about the state pension top-up scheme. This program, though not widely discussed, could be the key to unlocking more money from the state pension than you originally thought possible. So, how does it work, and are you eligible for this extra cash? Let's dive into it. The state pension has always been seen as a financial lifeline for retirees, offering a steady income once you've reached retirement age. For many people, it's the main or even only source of income once they stop working. However, the full state pension is currently set at £203.85 per week for someone who has contributed the full amount of national insurance (NI) during their working years. This adds up to around £10,600 per year, which, in many cases, is just enough to cover basic living expenses. But let's face it, with rising living costs and inflation, this may not feel like a sufficient amount to live comfortably, especially in retirement. So, what if I told you that there's a way to increase this amount by up to an extra £916 per year? This opportunity comes through a relatively little-known scheme called the State Pension Top-Up, which was introduced by the government in recent years. This scheme allows individuals who are approaching state pension age but haven't paid enough national insurance contributions to voluntarily pay extra contributions in order to boost their weekly state pension. If you find yourself in this position, this scheme could be your golden ticket to a bigger, more secure pension. Imagine getting an additional £5.29 per week on top of your regular state pension. It might sound modest at first, but over the course of a year, this can add up to £275 extra in your pocket annually. This extra income could make a significant difference in covering bills, healthcare costs, or even just making your retirement a little more comfortable. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The extra £5.29 per week is for every year that you top up your pension, and this top-up will continue for the rest of your life. That means, depending on how long you live after you begin claiming your state pension, this could add up to thousands of pounds over the course of your retirement. Over 20 years, for example, the top-up could add up to £5,500 in total extra payments, plus the £275 per year you'll continue receiving. Not bad for a simple decision to top up your pension. So, now you're probably asking, am I eligible for this state pension top-up? Well, the answer depends on several factors. First, to be eligible, you need to be within 6 years of reaching your state pension age. This scheme isn't available to everyone. It's designed for those who are nearing retirement but haven't yet made enough national insurance contributions to qualify for the full state pension. If you've already accumulated enough qualifying years of NI contributions to receive the full amount, then you're not eligible for this top-up. It's specifically aimed at those who have gaps in their national insurance record but are still close enough to retirement to benefit from the additional contributions. Next, you need to be at least 66 years old, the current state pension age in the UK, or be approaching that age. If you're not within this range, unfortunately, this top-up scheme won't be available to you. Another important detail is that this top-up only applies to the new state pension system. If you're on the old system, your eligibility will depend on your specific circumstances. For those who are eligible, it's as simple as getting in touch with the pension service and expressing your interest in paying additional voluntary national insurance contributions to boost your pension. But there's more to this than just meeting the eligibility criteria. Let's talk about how much you can actually top up and how it works in practice. The top-up amount is set at £5.29 per week for each additional year you pay into the scheme. That's not a huge amount of money each week, but it can add up over time. If you choose to make the top-up payment for multiple years, this could significantly increase the amount of money you receive each year in state pension. As I mentioned earlier, this could add up to £275 extra per year, and the best part is that once you start receiving this extra amount, it continues for the rest of your life. So, imagine this scenario: you top up your pension for 20 years, and that £275 extra annually continues coming in. Over 2 decades, this could give you an additional £5,500 in total, along with the initial £275 added each year. That's a nice boost to your retirement income, especially when you consider that pensions generally don't rise dramatically over time without additional contributions like this. If you're considering whether it's worth it to pay into this scheme, it's important to weigh the cost and benefit. Paying £5.29 per week might seem like a small sacrifice now, but think about the long-term benefits of this investment. The cost of living in retirement tends to increase, especially with inflation, so any extra amount you can secure for your future can have a meaningful impact. Moreover, once you start receiving the top-up, it's yours for life. The more years you spend on the top-up plan, the more you'll benefit from it. For anyone who's unsure about the practicality of this top-up, it's also important to note that you don't have to pay everything in one lump sum. You can spread the payments out over time, depending on your financial situation. This flexibility makes it easier for more people to take advantage of the top-up scheme, regardless of their immediate financial circumstances. You might be wondering, how do I apply for this state pension top-up? Well, it's not as complicated as it sounds. The application process is relatively straightforward. You can apply online or by contacting the UK government's pension service directly. They'll guide you through the steps and help you determine if you're eligible for the top-up. Once you've determined that you qualify, you'll need to fill out a form and provide your national insurance details. After that, you can decide whether you want to pay the top-up in one go or spread it out over time. You also have the option to choose how many years you want to top up. You might opt to pay for just a couple of years, or if you're close to retirement, you could top up for as many years as you need to increase your weekly pension. Before you rush off to apply, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, remember that the top-up scheme is only available for those who are within 6 years of reaching state pension age. So, if you're far off from retirement, this opportunity won't be available to you. Secondly, if you're already receiving the full state pension, there's no need to apply for the top-up scheme because you're already getting the maximum amount. Thirdly, the scheme only applies to the new state pension system, which means if you're on the old pension system, the process might be a little more complicated. It's always best to consult with the pension service or a financial advisor if you're unsure about which pension system you're under. Is it worth it to apply for the state pension top-up? For many people, the answer is an unequivocal yes. Even though the additional £5.29 per week may not seem like a lot initially, it can make a significant difference over time. Retirement is a time to relax and enjoy life, but it also comes with the reality of living on a fixed income. Every extra pound you can add to your state pension will help you live more comfortably. And, since this top-up continues for the rest of your life, it's an investment that pays off over time. In conclusion, if you're approaching retirement and you haven't made enough national insurance contributions to qualify for the full state pension, you might be eligible for this top-up scheme. The opportunity to boost your state pension by up to £916 annually could make a huge difference in your financial security during retirement. It's easy to apply, and the long-term benefits of this extra income can significantly improve your quality of life in your later years. So, don't miss out on this chance to increase your pension check if